probably don't know who I am, and that's okay, because this is technically my first real video. Yes sir, this is my first piece of content on this website. You don't need to look for a past life or anything. Anyways, my name is Yam, and I have come to you before my live 2D model is even finished to present to you the 2022 Spring VTuber Census. By the way, if you already know what the VTuber Census is, you can skip to this timestamp to get to the data and analysis part. We good? Okay. Those of you who are still here must be asking, Yam, what is the VTuber Census? Well, it's a tiny little, incredibly time-consuming to organize survey that I publish with my VTuber group, VTuber Network, every 6 months for VTubers to take. It asks them questions about their experiences, the kind of content they make, and of course, the numbers, TM. You may be asking yourself, what might possess a person to dedicate 3 months of their precious free time twice a year every year to record the content creation habits of online anime people? And you're right to question that. I don't have a good answer, and doing the math has actually really made me existential about this. Anyways, I found the VTuber phenomenon as a whole fascinating. There was a sudden explosion of VTubers in the English side of the internet seemingly overnight. Like seriously, at the beginning of 2020, no one knew what a VTuber was, and suddenly they were everywhere. Clips poured into everyone's recommended page, and because we were all sad and trapped in our houses, we ate that positivity up like warm curry on a cold winter's night. So I decided to start the census to kind of try and track the numbers and experiences of the VTubers who started during the 2020 pandemic. I was really interested in seeing what things looked like in the bigger picture. When the first census was launched, I was shocked that over 500 people were interested in participating. For a project made by a tiny VTuber like me and published with my tiny VTuber group, I did not expect it to spread around the community as much as it did. And with our most recent census, the Spring 2022 census, the number of respondents just about tripled. Big shout out to False ID for featuring our census on his show, Things VTubers Say. We would not have expanded so rapidly if not for you spreading the word, so thank you. With so much data to sort through and less than efficient data collection methods, I had to assemble a team to help me sift through that data. Once me and the boys got through the data, it was time to analyze it. So without further ado, let's meet the team and hear about some data. And I'm just gonna have you guys introduce yourselves.
Howdy everyone, I'm Lasso, Capo Cowboy. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I play a lot of Beat Saber and horror games. I do a lot of audience interaction stuff. I have my whole chat game that I've made called Fat Cat. You can make me say the ara-aras with it and make me lick you if you want.
It's so fun.
It gets kind of weird now.
Wait, you lick them?
Yeah, I like them now. It's to clean them. That's how we bond as cats. I also use Twitter quite a bit to just post.
Hello, I'm Skylar. I am a giraffe. At this point, PNG tuber. The one that you see is actually my ancestor, it's not me. I drew him from memory, which is why he looks great. I pretty much just play games, and I just talk to myself the entire time. So if you like overactive imaginations with jumping from topic to topic, yeah. Anyways, I stream on Twitch, and I have my VODs on YouTube, and I just made a Discord, and I also post on Twitter too.
Debut year of VTubers. When comparing which year the surveyed VTubers debuted, we can see that less than 5% of VTubers debuted before 2020, around 20% of VTubers debuted in 2020, and 50% of VTubers debuted in 2021, which leaves the remaining 5% of survey takers as either early 2022 debuts or planning to debut in the future.
That is crazy.
I know, it's exponential.
Do you think that it's going to keep growing though?
1,600 this year. Honestly, well, I know more than 1,600 VTubers have debuted this year already, so
yeah.
I was really curious about the people who started pre-2020 here. Like, who are the progenitors of 2017? Are they all the VR chat folk, or are they...
I believe so. I think it was people who didn't call themselves VTubers, but were making VTuber content before the term really existed.
So who coined the term?
Kizuna I coined the term in 2016, but...
Rest in peace.
As you can kind of see, the Western VTuber scene just kind of didn't exist until 2020. I think VTuber is one of those terms that we didn't use for that kind of content until 2020.
So were they just like streamers?
They probably called themselves avatar streamers, VR chat streamers.
Yeah, I know a few people in the Beat Saber community who use avatars instead of mixed reality, and they don't call themselves VTubers. They're just like, nah, I'm just a fox girl.
2020 VTuber debuts. In 2020, the amount of VTubers debuting per month was a straight rise from an average of 12 VTubers per month until July to a 50 VTuber debut average in October and on. Before I actually had the data in front of me, I assumed the reason for that sudden spike in Western VTubers was simply because of Hololive English's first generation debut, Hollow Myth. But once I have the timeline in front of me, you can kind of see that VTubers were on the rise a few months before Hollow Myth even debuted, and that's because of two events. VTube Studio was released for iOS and Android, and VC Face was releasing its demo, so 2D and 3D VTubers suddenly had the means to track their models for a lot cheaper and more accessible than the previous technology. So now I realize that it's a tandem effect. The technology got released, and then Hololive Myth inspired everyone to become VTubers, and when they got inspired, they actually had the tools to do so, thus creating this boom that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have the technology beforehand.
The programs definitely created an initial spike, but we still do see giant spikes from both the Hollow Myth and the V-Shoujo debuts.
That's
here.
right.
I was wondering if part of this is due to we're pulling only English speakers in this initial census, right?
Yes.
And so would this look different if we were able to like pull Japanese speakers?
I believe that you would see the spike earlier in Japanese spaces.
Oh.
Yeah. Because Niji, Sanji, and Hololive were already quite successful. 2021 VTuber debuts. In 2021, the amount of VTuber debuts was very inconsistent, but was constantly greater than the rate seen in 2020. And instead of seeing a straight trend upward, we're seeing these waves quite consistently. What do you think these waves might be caused by?
The drama cycle of VTubing. I don't know how to put it lightly, but like it seems to be there's always like a major event in VTubing circles and like a negative event like every couple months, and I'm wondering if that's to do with this. I don't know if that's what causes VTubing to get more attention and then rise, or if that's causing the downfall. For my own mental health, I didn't track down every major VTuber drama event and map it to this.
I think it matches here too. Like, all publicity is good publicity. It doesn't matter if it's someone's graduating or someone is just starting, someone debuts, whatever. But if you notice, the Lazu Lights, when they debut, shortly after, there's a little spike again, and then it goes back down, and then after that again it's gonna be Coco graduates. And it's that kind of trend where if there is some sort of drama or something brings attention to it, like, whoa, that's crazy, I can't believe that happened, and then they're like, okay, more renewed interest.
VTuber debuts from 2020 to spring of 2022. This graph shows the entire timeline of the VTuber boom from the beginning in 2022 up to the month that the VTuber Census ran. Despite the strange waves occurring in 2021, the graph as a whole trended upward.
My engineering brain, when I saw this, it went big brain mode. So what we're seeing here is you have the initial rise, right? Through, what is that, March of 2021? And then we have this big wiggle and like signals, like when you turn a light on. Yeah, that initial like light gets electricity, it goes up, so now it's on, and it takes it a while from then to settle out. So we might still be in like a settling period, because this giant spike happens of all these people entering, and the reason like we're wiggling is that we just haven't settled into a steady state, as it's known in engineering, but like a very calm state.
That makes
sense. The wiggles increasing in intensity worry me. That's very fascinating.
Yeah.
Usually they go down in intensity.
The other problem is this could be biased data because VTuber Network, we are very appealing to new VTubers because of the resources we give, so it could be that we just attracted a lot of newly debuted VTubers to our census, and that could be the reason for the large spike we see at the very end.
Along with the fact that like when you're new, you're always on Twitter.
Oh, very true.
You're checking this up like constantly. As time goes on, everyone learns to pull back a little bit for their own health.
Yep. LGBT. The VTubers surveyed were asked the question, are you a member of the LGBT plus community? 69.4% responded yes, and 30.6% responded no.
Yeah, I do want to say, like, I don't know, I appreciate that, like, VTubing is a very welcoming space to all manner of folk, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
everyone's been very kind. It's very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Age. The next graph asks VTubers to provide their real-life ages. 58.4% of participants fall in the 22 to 30-year-old age bracket. 18.1% are in the 19 to 21 age bracket.
10.5% are 18 and below,
12.9% are in the 31 to 40 age bracket.
and 0.1% are over 40 years old.
22 to 30 age bracket is huge, kind of as expected. A lot of agencies don't take VTubers that aren't under 18 because the community is not the most minor-friendly place a lot of the time, especially on Twitter.
Are you saying calling people is not family friendly?
What? That's how we greet each other in the VTuber community.
humor, the culture, the trends, all definitely are for those who are not minors.
I know we have this big spike in the middle right now, but we're going to be splitting this up in the October census, correct?
That's correct.
That 22 to 30 is going to be split up.
Yeah, I did not think through these age brackets.
It makes sense. Like we got like the college age, and then just
VTuber status. VTubers were asked which statement they identified with the most. 56% of VTubers identified with the statement, I am a hobbyist VTuber and I'm doing it for fun. 34.1% of them identified with the statement, I'm a part-time VTuber and I earn some income. And 9.8% identified with the statement, I am a full-time VTuber and this is my primary income.
we're talking about not time committed, but like income level here. Part-time means you earn some income. Full-time means this is your primary income.
No,
Yeah, because in the future, we have a further one that asks like how much time you spend on it, and I'm willing to bet like most people spend way too much time on this. And by that I mean
for sure.
full-time job worth, right?
Do you think that there are people in hobbyists that would like to transition to part-time but don't have the income yet to become part-time?
I think that's actually the majority. I think everyone wants to move up a category. The hobbyists are trying to make it to part-time income, and the part-time income people might be looking to get into the full-time income because that's the most coveted spot for most content creators, not all.
Yeah, some people do it just for fun.
Yeah. VTuber group status. Out of the VTubers who participated in the census, 87.5% identified as a completely indie and solo creator. 10.9% identified as an indie creator in an indie group, and 1.6% identified as a company or agency affiliated creator. Group status.
Ooh, I love this one. I'm sorry, I cannot focus right now. I probably drank a little too much too fast, and so I just cannot find my notes. Like, this is absolutely crazy. Okay, wait, I think I found it.
Yeah.
And then with this indie and solo, among those people, there has to be some sort of portion that talks about like, hey, I want to be in a group, but I either don't know how to get into it, I haven't been invited. There should be kind of a way that people can find a group, or maybe they can just like talk to others to make a group or something like that, you know? I think it's just like a very small group of people that are able to form an indie group themselves just based off of their connections. Meanwhile, newer people might not be able to form those connections just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I formed VTuber Network Discord, shameless plug, because it's really daunting. The VTuber community is really cliquey, and I see so many small groups being advertised, promising all these grandiose statements to new VTubers, but then the groups tend to fall apart over time, either because everyone wants to kind of do their own thing, they're surpassing the group, or the person starting the group made some promises they just couldn't keep. And that's kind of why everyone is gunning for the top 3 agencies.
Whack.
Most desired agency to join. When asked the question, if you were given the opportunity, what VTuber agency would you want to join the most? 23.6% chose VShojo. 21.5% chose Niji Sanji. 13.1% chose Hololive and Holostars. 36.5% responded, I am not interested in joining an agency at this time. And the remainder filled in unique answers including Kawa Entertainment, Cinderia, Phase Connect, Prism Project, My Hollow TV, CyberLife, and many more. Others mentioned that they would like to form their own agency. I do find it interesting that the largest category is the no interest in an agency. I think with the success of some specific indie VTubers, people are like, I can do this on my own.
Okay, so you think that's the main reason why that people or certain people have no interest in it?
Yeah, I think they want their content to be completely authentically themselves and have complete control of their content.
And it looks like it is possible to do that in the English-speaking world, at least.
We've got Shy Lily,
Toto,
Kason.
I think it's interesting that Hololive is the lowest.
I know the
like
reason why.
They're the one that I know. Maybe it's due to the survey coming out right after the Rushia and Niji Sanji debuts.
Bingo. Niji Sanji debuts. Niji Sanji is at an all-time high. Their talents are thriving. We've got Luxie and Noctix. They are looking real good right now. And meanwhile, Uruha Rushia was dealing with some really unfortunate events that could have to do with the culture surrounding the fact that their parent company is an idol agency. And her contract was terminated during our data collection period. It had a lot of people wondering if being an idol is what they want to do with their content.
Hololive likes to focus more on the idol type. Meanwhile, Niji Sanji is more of like, oh, these are just,
entertainers,
regular old
gamers. Yeah.
Right. And so I think it's because Hololive likes to focus more on, okay, these people have proven track records. There might be some more niche followings, right? Because it's very niche. Not everyone likes the pop star. Not everyone likes that idol kind of mentality.
Yeah,
more people like people that they can relate to, which is why Niji Sanji is really popping off right now.
VShojo is at the top because it's on Twitch. They own Twitch for VTubers.
VShojo appeals to a lot of indie VTubers because seemingly it's a lot more laid back, a lot less structured, and they just kind of support you in whatever you want to do. You can keep your old persona and model, which was a big draw for a lot of people because they get very attached to their current forms. And you're not really told what you can and can't say on your social media too, which was a big drawback of Hololive, especially during the Uruha Rushia controversy. VShojo can speak their minds, for better or for worse. They are more individual talent focused than Hololive or even Niji Sanji. They're very unfiltered. That's what I'll say.
That's actually a really good summary of VShojo.
I do a lot of this analysis while I'm like driving. This is all I think about, guys. I live and breathe VTubing.
I'm sorry. The VTuber world ate you up.
Yeah. Gender of your VTuber character. Out of the VTubers who participated in the census, 48% identified as female. 30.4% identify as male, and 21.6% identify as non-binary or other. Almost half female. That's kind of expected. Though I will say, this year we worded the question a bit differently than the October 2021 census. I specifically worded it gender of VTuber character and didn't just leave it at gender because there is a large portion of the community who play characters that do not match their IRL gender, and I do know that that's also common practice in the VR chat community.
It's essentially that I know that there's a lot of drama with the whole male VTubers, that a lot of male VTubers are starting to feel pity for themselves when they shouldn't. It's not like, oh, because I'm a male, I'm not treated equally as the females because there's more females than males on here. That's not the case. I think in general, people, even if they're biased, it's like if you're a good person, if you're someone that's entertaining, then people are going to naturally flock to you. So I think if people are not successful for whatever reason, let's say male or female or non-binary, it's because you're just not entertaining. So you just need to not be so basic, and that will get you those follows. That will get you the people to be talking to you. You need to have a good
Obviously.
personality in order for that to happen. You can't just not talk during stream, or you can't just think that your model is great, and because of that, you're gonna naturally have 1,000 followers. Like, that's not gonna happen. You need to actually put in work for it to happen.
Model type. When asked the question, what type of model do you primarily use in your streams? 50.8% of participants selected Live 2D, 31.3% of participants selected 3D, and 17.8% selected PNG. So I know some people have multiple different models, but this was what primary model you use, and the majority use Live 2D primarily.
I wonder if the PNG crowd, if we might see an increase come next census, because VTube has gotten like a lot more popular.
I
now,
know.
and that adds
Do you
so
see-
much to PNGs.
Do you see the giraffe bouncing on my bed back there? That's through
That's the
VTube.
thing. Yes, please sponsor me.
I have seen some really interesting. They're almost like called GIF-tubers at this point. Like everything's animated, they have different expressions even, but it's still just like different GIFs that they toggle. Which I'm very impressed by, like the piloting on some of those folk.
Amount paid for model and tracking setup. Participants were asked, around how much did you pay for your model and tracking setup, not including your computer, in USD. 28% paid $0. 18.7% paid less than $100. 22.7% paid between $100 and $500. 14.4% paid between $501 and $1,000. 11.7% paid between $1,001 to $2,500, and 4.4% paid more than $2,500.
The lower brackets being more populous might be because a lot of our census takers were younger on in their careers.
Yeah.
Right, they're not on V2 model, which is
That's-
$1,000 or something.
Yeah, I
Those
see what
people
you
have only
mean,
been going for like a year,
Yeah.
maybe two.
Yeah, fair.
You don't want to
Fair,
commit
fair.
to such an expensive model when you don't even know if this is something you're going to be doing for years. Correct.
I'm curious. How do they get like all of these things? Like they have to be artists, right? It's not necessarily just like $100 for a model, because that would be a basic model in a sense, right? So I think that's a combination of people undercharging for their
Undercharging is a
work,
big
for their
one.
talent, and then the second part is that people expect it to be low because they don't know how much like work and time is actually put into it. So
Yes.
I mean, honestly, guys, just pay these artists. They need money. They really do. And don't forget to tip them too.
I don't want to talk about how much VR tracking costs.
I was okay. Look, I really want that. That's so cool. The full body tracking is so cool.
It is so cool.
You got $2,000 to spare, Skylar, because I can point you the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean-
I really admire because, you know, I'm an artist. I did my whatever myself and it took way too long. But I do really admire that Lasso waited so long to have his models commissioned and utilized that PNG tubing for a long time to make sure he got the established audience and the practice, and definitely like, okay, this is worth investing in for myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lasso, you did that?
Yeah. I basically I did PNG for a
Oh.
whole year. I did wait a while to get a 2D model just because I didn't want to drop stuff on it if I was gonna quit in 3 weeks.
That's kind of the same with me. You know, I wanted to at least have something to represent who I am, which is why I drew my ancestor. But I'm still waiting for my body to be isekai. It's currently.
Primary content genre. When participants were asked, which type of content do you make? Check all that apply. 97.7% chose gaming. 66.7% chose commentary and chatting. 51.9% chose art. 21.4% chose music. 21.3% chose reviews and tier lists. 10.9% chose hand cam content. And 2.5% chose news. I expected 90% of the people to make gaming content. Next is commentary and chatting, also not a surprise. Zatsudan is a skill that many VTubers practice. And then art, obviously we have a lot of artists in the VTuber community. Tier reviews and music are almost tied, which is surprising to me. I thought there was going to be more music, but tier reviews are generally a pretty fun time, so I can see why.
It's a lot easier to make a tier review than it is to make a song.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Yeah, what about you?
composing and karaoke are also in those.
Right.
Karaoke is
That's
like
fair.
the just chatting of musicians.
That's
There really isn't a lot of branching out into different genres of content going on. I mean, this is basically a graph of what's most popular with the top VTubers as well.
Right,
Many
right.
people are interested in what is already being done by the top VTubers that probably inspired them to start in the first place. And I just want to encourage everyone to branch out a little bit. You know, try something that only you can do.
what Yam is saying is stop being basic. You need to do
No,
something
no,
that's
no,
actually
no, 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 no,
creative.
no.
Stop copying other people. You need to stop being so basic that anyone can copy you. You want to be uniquely yours. That's what Yam said. I didn't say that. Yam said cancel Yam.
I will say, I want to see more hand cam content. I've seen a
Oh,
little bit of hand cam content as
Yeah.
VTubers, and it is insane what people do to get like the model tracking, and I've seen some people somehow manage to get their hand tracking in actually. Onigiri. I think is the
Onigiri,
best
oh
example
my
of that.
gosh.
Sorry, I don't know who
She's
that
a
is.
cooking
Can you kind of, like,
VTuber
summarize it?
who has her
Oh.
model and then her hands chroma keyed in and she cooks with her floating hands.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh.
I would love to see more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Primary content creation platform. Out of the VTubers who participated in the census, 81.2% considered Twitch as their primary platform, 12.3% considered YouTube, 5.5% considered Twitter, and the rest chose other. Twitch is way up there, baby. Oh my gosh, look at how puny YouTube is.
Shout out to the VTweeters. Love y'all.
Yeah, VTweeters down there too.
Wait, what does that mean?
VTubers who only use Twitter.
Yeah, or primarily use Twitter.
Yes.
So
yes.
is that where they post their content, or do they just have
Yeah.
the online persona? of
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's mainly memers. Yeah, I see some people put out like 4 memes a day.
Yeah.
Like, and they
They're-
maybe
they're
stream like
nuts.
twice a week. Like,
They are
their primary
nuts.
content is Twitter.
Short
I respect that.
videos, short covers, shoot posting,
You posting?
shoot. I don't want to say the word.
It's okay, Yam. It's okay. It's okay.
Honestly, I am always torn between VTweeters are trying just as hard as the rest of us, and man, just start
definitely.
making videos. start streaming. Some people are so reluctant to start streaming until their whole setup is ready that they'll just be on Twitter for a whole year while they're getting ready.
Oh God, no.
And then on debut, that's literally their first time they've ever stood in front of an audience live. I do not recommend
No.
this approach.
Yeah.
Stream well ahead of time.
Yeah.
Learn the setup. OBS is wacky. Twitch is wacky. YouTube's even
Right.
wackier, from what I understand. Like, just get in there, learn it.
There is probably a portion of VTubers who picked Twitter as their primary content creation platform is probably because they are, like I said, either haven't started streaming yet or they're on hiatus and can't be streaming right now, but they still tweet, which I do see the merit in. Maybe it's finals month for some students, but just checking in with your audience every so often and letting people know you're alive, like I failed to do. That's a good idea if you're on hiatus, you know, until you can pick up the torch of streaming or making videos again. All content creation platforms used. When VTubers were asked, what type of content do you make? Check all that apply. 92.1% chose Twitch, 88.7% chose Twitter, 69.2% chose YouTube, 50.4% chose Discord, 35.9% chose TikTok, 17.6% chose Instagram, and 8.2% chose Reddit. Other platforms specified include Tumblr, several R18 sites, Ko-Fi, Trovo, Bilibili, Hover, Pixiv, DeviantArt, and more. Lasso worked so hard on this graph for you guys. This drives him nutzoids, and it's my fault because I let you
That's
guys have a free response. And you
Yeah,
just
no
could
right.
type
Free will
in
was a
whatever.
mistake.
No rights for VTubers.
freedom of speech being taken away in October. I'm sorry, guys.
I have a lot of strong feelings about this graph.
Mm,
Mainly hatred,
sure.
but you know, I have several notes. My first one is just, why isn't Twitter the highest here?
Yeah, because the
Wasn't this
census
poll done on
was
Twitter?
circulated on Twitter.
I guess that they just post to Twitter to be like, I'm live. They don't count that as content creation at that point.
True, the wording.
So a lot of these were written in. Anything in the other, right, was a written in response.
Yeah.
And I didn't include some. Shout out to the person who wrote in GitHub and Google Drive. Big respect to them. Like, if we include some of these, like Tumblr, in the choose, I think we might see in October an increase on how much they're used.
Tumblr might be making a comeback because of what's going on with Twitter right now, so we will have to
Papa
see.
Elon.
I don't know if I'm ready to rejoin Tumblr, but if it's the new meta.
Right, is YouTube as big here as it is? Because we saw YouTube was not their primary on a lot of people. Is that mainly due to people using YouTube as a VOD?
I believe so.
Twitch deletes after 14 days?
Only about 200 people use YouTube primarily, and then 1,000 people use YouTube as a secondary. So I do believe it's either clips upload or VOD upload. Average length of streams. Census takers were asked, how long on average do you typically stream in one sitting? 1.3% stream less than an hour. 32.7% stream 1 to 2 hours. 53.2% stream 3 to 4 hours. 10.2% stream 5 to 6 hours. And 2.6% stream 7 or more hours.
I had a quick question here. How long is the average Hololive V Shoujo Niji Sanji stream? I think
I'd say
V
it's
Shoujo is
3.
typically
I think
long, like 6
It could be
hours.
like 5 to 6 or 7+ hours depending on the stream.
Wow.
It also depends on the creator.
Right.
Shout out to my Oshi Korone, she goes for 12 hours very often. I think everyone who works for a VTuber agency has energy drink as it just replaced their bloodstream.
Yes. So for those that go 7+ hours, and I've seen a good amount of you out there, you are nuts. You are crazy. I don't know how you have that kind of energy. After 4 hours of continuous talking, my voice is gone. I'm tired. I want to take a nap. I just want to cry, you know? And people go for 7+ hours. How do you do that? Please
I'm
tell me.
gonna let you know my secret whenever I do those very long streams. It's
Okay.
You're gonna have to
All right,
bleep
you know,
that
like a bottle or
out.
two. Oh no!
I'll stock up on the fun juices before
Fun
those long
juices.
streams.
Yeah, it's just juice.
In terms of content, so let's say for the people that do 1 to 2 hours, do you think it's because they are unmotivated by what's happening on stream? Do you think it's because of, like, let's say, energy resource? What do you think might be the reason why they only stream 1 to 2 hours? Maybe they only have 1 to 2 hours in a day to stream, but what do you guys think the cause might be that they have 1 to 2 hours for their average length of streams?
Personally, I think it's once your brain starts to get mushy, it's time to end stream. So if that's 1 to 2 hours in, that's just your cap. The other thing is, if you're posting VODs and you want people to watch the VODs, sometimes you don't want it to be that long. What do you think,
True.
Lasso?
Trying to think, I think a lot of it is, once again, our audience here. The census was mainly made up of fairly new streamers,
Yeah.
at least new to VTubing, and it takes time to build that up.
Yeah.
Like
Stamina.
my first 3 months, that last hour of the 3 hours was rough. I basically only do 3 hour streams. That last hour was rough, but now it's just like, oh, that's the cozy part. That's it's easy now. And it's one of those things you have to like build up the stamina for. Also, just learning to just occasionally just like look at a bee and then go off on a story about how you hate bees. It takes time to learn how to do that.
Yeah, ad-libbing. Average amount of streams per week. Out of the VTubers who participated during an average week, 7.7% stream less than once, 6.6% stream once, 17.6% stream twice,
31.5% stream 3 times.
21.2% stream 4 times, 10.1% stream 5 times, and 5.2% stream more than 5 times a week. So this one is
Streams
a
per week.
normal distribution curve over
Oh my
3. In hindsight, I should have added a I don't stream category because there's probably a lot of people who picked less than one who don't stream.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Twitter main users.
Or the video producers.
Maybe some of the YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing 3 is the standard because if you work a full time, you get off like what, 2 days a week, and
I
then
mean, the way
maybe
that-
you have one more to squeeze in there.
So what I had to say is if you're doing more than 5 streams a week, you are freaking crazy. You have my respects, because even if it's like 2 hours a stream, the fact that you can set aside that time in order to do it consistently for 5 streams a week, that is a lot.
I'm in there.
The 5 and
Yeah,
more than 5?
I stream 6 times a week. I do it right after work every day on Monday to Friday, and then I have a bonus stream on Sunday.
If you consider streaming your work as well, how many hours of work a day do you have?
8 hours for my 9 to 5, 3 hours to stream, so that's 11, and then probably another hour or 2 of other stuff, so like 12 to 13.
Lasso, are you okay?
Average amount of videos per week. Out of the VTubers who participated, during an average week, 37.7% don't produce any video content. 32.3% produce less than 1 video. 11.2% produce 1 video. 7.2% produce 2 videos. 4.7% produce 3 videos. And 6.4% produce 4 or more videos. Alright, I'm the video maker here. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Just upload your VODs!
You can't do 1 video a week. It's just all VODs.
I consider even just like 5-second videos of your VTuber moving of a video upload. Let's say you're trying to get more into videos and you don't have an idea for this week's video. Slap on a VTuber asset, a free VTuber asset that you found off of Twitter, do a little dance, or say a funny sentence and upload it. That's your video upload. We're VTubers, we can do that. Time to follow my own advice.
Yeah, there's those videos here.
I didn't have a model.
All depends on your perspective on how you design it to be, because you can make your most boring content really entertaining with a different perspective.
R18 Content. When asked the question, do you create R18 content?
76.8% responded no.
23.2% responded yes. Do you create R18 content? I kind of have no comment on this.
I was legitimately surprised by this circle, actually.
Really? Why?
Because I'm on Twitter.
And I don't know
Well.
if people think is the only thing that is R18, or if it's more like everyone seemingly has the humor TM, you know?
No, but I totally get what you're coming from, because a lot of the trending VTuber stuff is like booba and like, oh, ha ha ha. Yeah, I'm not a ha ha ha, you know? So
Yeah.
they talk about those things. Let us know in the comments what you believe.
Oh my god.
I mean, I think it'd be really interesting to hear what other people thought about it. I think it'd be cool to hear if someone was like, oh, I don't make 18 plus content, but I like it, or I don't make 18 plus content because I absolutely am disgusted by it. Like, it does not make sense to me. So I think if we were to find some understanding about it, other people would not feel alone with that thought.
Average number of live viewers. Out of the VTubers who participated, on average, 35.8% have 0 to 4 live viewers. 44.2% have 5 to 10 live viewers. 13.6% have 11 to 30 live viewers. 4.1% have 31 to 99 live viewers. And 2.3% have 100 or more live viewers. I think this is gonna make people feel a lot better about where they are as a content creator. They're really not alone. If you have 0 to 4 or 5 to 10 viewers, you're the majority. The climb is so steep. Maybe it's not realistic to say I've made it when I have over 100 live viewers.
I think also in comparison, if you just look at all of these streamers in general, because VTuber is a very niche thing, most of the streamers have roughly 4 to 8 viewers concurrently.
Yeah.
And so you should not feel bad if you have 0 to 4. If you think about it, it's oversaturated, which means that there is more streamers than there are possibly viewers.
Another thing is, most people started 2020 onward. You've maybe been streaming for what, 2 years? That's a very small amount in the long run. 'Cause
Very green.
if we look at our flesh tuber compatriots, 3 to 5 years or more is usually what it takes for them to get past the 10 viewer mark. A few people are going to get those lucky breaks at the beginning. Like a partnered streamer is going to pick them up as their like little Padawan
pet.
under their wing. Yeah. But for the most part, like you can't view VTubing as easy success. It's just like another part of who you are in the streaming world, which is rough. It's a long grind.
Yeah. Average number of non-live viewers. Out of the VTubers who participated, on average, 19.7% have 0 to 4 non-live viewers. 24.4% have 5 to 25 non-live viewers. 20.1% have 26 to 50 non-live viewers. 16.8% have 51 to 150 non-live viewers. 6.8% have 151 to 499 non-live viewers. And 12.2% have 500 or more non-live viewers. There's way more variation in your average number of non-live viewers because non-live content is so diverse. Like, this could be people's VODs, this could be their bread and butter videos that they made specifically to be uploaded, this could be an edit, this could be a clip, this could be a short video that they made of their model. But what they all have in common is a higher viewer average, simply because it's more convenient to get through a video than it is be there for a live stream concurrently.
Yeah.
Right.
I will also say for Twitch VOD specifically, anyone who clicked on your stream at any point in a VOD counts as a viewer in your VOD view. My views for my VODs do not go up at all basically after I stream. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 because it's only on Twitch. But I'll have 150 people who clicked on that stream during that time. But it'll still show up as 150 views on the Twitch stats.
Growth. When census takers were asked how much they agree with the statement, "I feel I have the ability to grow as a VTuber," 2.1% strongly disagreed, 7.9% somewhat disagreed, 20.1% were neutral, 31.7% somewhat agreed, and 38.2% strongly agreed.
Love optimism.
I do
Glad to see
too.
it.
It's weird because if you look at the general sentiment expressed on VTuber social media and in Discords, you're not going to get the growth mindset vibe. The complainers definitely complain louder than the people who are optimistic about this.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a case of silent majority on this one. Or, as much as I hate to say it on Twitter, maybe you're just complaining to get the numbers up.
Possibly.
I don't blame you if you do. That's playing the Twitter game. Twitter loves things that spark a little bit of emotion.
Yeah,
So.
spark the comments.
I was curious about the people who chose 1 or 2 on this. Though.
Yeah, why are you
okay?
here?
Do you need a hug?
Yeah.
What does keep you going in this? Is growth not your goal? What is
I have
what is
met
your end goal?
a lot of VTubers who are like, I'm here for the friends that I've made. I'm not really an active VTuber anymore. I just have the model. I use it in Discord, and I post on Twitter sometimes. They've kind of given up on being a content creator, but they're still here vibing with the community. We all have these either time-consuming or expensive models. Why let it go to waste? Just make it your persona that you hang out with people with, Affordability. When census takers were asked how much they agree with the statement, "I want to upgrade my stream setup or model, but I cannot currently afford it,"
8.7% strongly disagreed. 9.9% somewhat disagreed.
14.3% were neutral, 17% somewhat agreed, and 50.1% strongly agreed. Sad. This is a big sad.
It makes sense. Go back to the age graph. Most of us are
20 to 30.
Yeah, a lot of people do not have the money to spend, $5,000 on the model.
The thing is, we all want the amazing setup, just like every streamer does. But VTubing can be as cheap or an expensive hobby as you make it, and you can be successful with both setups. We do have a visual bias in this community.
What?
It's not
No.
like this is all based on
Appeal,
visuals
yeah.
of anime and visual appeal of your design, but YouTubers have been using a still image to represent themselves for a long time. Like, The Right Opinion is a huge channel that just uses a PNG that moves. He has millions of subscribers and even more that are passing viewers. I think a lot of people get it in their head that it's because of the model, and you can make it without the model or the amazing buff stream computer that can play all the 20 FOV, 60 FPS shooters. Like, get creative with it.
I mean, look how many streamers make it with just no face cam.
Right.
At all.
Yeah, you shouldn't think about it in terms of, oh, this is popular, I want to do this. You want to think about it in terms of, what am I good at? What are things that I can do that other people can't?
VTubing is just another one of your tools. Even though, like, it's kind of like what we base our personalities around, right? Because the model's very personal, like, represents you. But it is just another one of the tools.
Facts.
Not everything should rely on it.
Facts! Let's go.
Facts, yo. And we all know VTubers don't get any sleep.
There's a lot more census-related content coming out in the next few months. So if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing so you don't miss more VTuber Census content coming soon.
Please check the links below to support my wonderful partners in the census, Skylar and Lasso. They did a wonderful job sorting the data for you all. The analysis would not have nearly been as well-rounded or fun without their inputs. Our Twitter is at VTuber Network, and you can join the discussion by commenting down below or using the hashtag VTuber Census on social media. Please let us know what you would like to see in the next VTuber Census. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around, Bat Bunch!